All right. Uh, Hi, everyone. This is Ishan here today, and welcome everyone for joining us today for our Discuss Agile Virtual Conference 2018. And this is in collaboration with Eisenbridge. Thank you for joining us. And let me take this opportunity as well to quickly take this opportunity to tell you about our regional Scrum gathering, which will be held in Hyderabad, hosted by Eisenbridge and sponsored by Scrum Alliance. So guys, do not miss this opportunity. And if I tell you about this program a little bit, this program provides an opportunity to gain knowledge through workshops and presentations that cater to various levels and from beginners through intermediate and on to expert. Regional Scrum Gathering is an event of like-minded Scrum practitioners. Fine. So let me also take this opportunity to tell you about today's agenda. The very first talk would be by Shane Hastie on the topic of the golden age of agile coaching. The second topic would be from 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time to 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time by Madeeha Khan on topic of agile mindset. And again, we have a topic by Jyoti Sapra from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on striking balance in our lives. And the last topic would be by Sekhar Burra. It will be a Q&A session. So thank you all who have joined us already. And let me welcome Shane Hastie for our very first talk. Let me tell you about him a little bit. He is the Director of Agile Learning Programs in IC Agile. So thank you so much, Shane, for joining us today. So over to you, Shane.
Thanks, Ishan. And welcome, everybody. I'm really glad that you've joined us. Obviously, for me, it is late at night. I'm in New Zealand, and we might have some connection challenges because of that. I noticed that a couple of people are saying that the sound is not great. That's probably going to be linked to just the connections that we have. But hopefully you'll still be able to get value. All right. So I have shared my screen at this point, which I hope everybody can see. My talk, the golden age of agile coaching. And what I want to talk about is what coaching is and what it isn't. Because I firmly believe that there's a lot of misconceptions and unfortunately a certain level of harm being done in the agile community at the moment through less than effective coaching, and in fact through some coaching that is not really coaching. So we want to talk about what the discipline of coaching is, and then what agile coaching is. We'll explore Lisa Adkins' work on the domain of agile coaching, and then I want to talk about the competencies of an agile coach and relate that to the journey towards mastery of Shuha Ri. I'll introduce powerful questions. In a session like this, we won't do much practice with them, but I hope to leave you with something to think about. And to round it out, I want to talk about my own journey, and I'll weave some of that in as we're going. My journey from a practitioner and a developer, a business analyst, through to a teacher, a facilitator, and to a coach, and to being assessed as an expert coach by other expert coaches, and the competency-based framework that IC Agile provides for coaching as a journey and as a discipline and as a path towards mastery. So that's where we want to go over the next little while. The first point is, what is professional coaching? And the definition from the International Coaching Federation, which is a professional body, they talk about coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional development. Sorry, personal and professional potential. So coaching is not telling somebody what to do. It is not giving them advice. Coaching is exposing the creative process that is in the coachee, whether that coachee is an individual or a team, and helping them to uncover their own understanding. And there's some important aspects to professional coaching. First and foremost is there are ethical guidelines and professional standards. So coaching is a discipline that requires ethics, professionalism, and a code of conduct that as a professional coach, certainly under the auspices of the ICF, you are expected to commit to and to submit yourself to the disciplinary process of that organization. So if you're acting outside of the bounds of professional coaching, then you submit yourself, and there's a disciplinary process, there's a complaints process. And like the strong professions, you know, medicine and law and so forth, coaching has that same ethical standard and ethical guidelines and strong professional standards. It's about building a trust relationship with your coachee. And that trust is the key to effective coaching. There's an aspect of presence. And the key area there is that when you are working with somebody in a coaching relationship, that you are focused with and in the instant with that person. You are fully present, and you're engaging them with your whole being. The effective communication and communication skills are absolutely crucial. And it's about facilitating learning and results. And a really scary one for some people, it's actually taking accountability for the outcome. As the coach, you are not in a position of all care and no responsibility. Your role is to support your coachees and to be with them on their journey to professional development in whatever area that journey takes them. And what I see in the Agile coaching community is very little of this ethical standard, professionalism, and the accountability. In fact, very, very often I hear Agile coaches not wanting to take accountability for the outcomes. My job is not to make sure that the team delivers, it's to help the team. No, that is not the case. I am there to own the outcome along with the team. So coaching is very much a partnership, and it's a process where the coachee is actually in the lead in terms of discovering what is best for them and a way to explore options and opportunities. Coaching is not giving advice. That's consulting. Coaching is not learning from an experienced professional. That's mentoring. And coaching is never a quick fix. The coaching relationship is lengthy and sustained, and it's about seeing people through a journey. So that's professional coaching as a broader discipline. But there's a subset of professional coaching that is the Agile coaching. And Lisa Atkins has drawn up this competencies framework. You'll hear it sometimes talked about as a butterfly that looks at what an Agile coach what are the competencies that an Agile coach needs to have? And we start with they need to be an experienced and capable Agile or lean practitioner, where they apply the Agile values and principles in their lives in every aspect. So they are the person that the team can talk to, can turn to, and they can see the values, the principles, the practices in action through everything that person does. Then we need professional coaching competencies, partnering with clients in that creative process to inspire their personal and professional potential. So this is the competencies that we were talking about earlier on. We also need facilitation skills. Facilitating is different to coaching. And as an Agile coach, you will move in and out of the facilitator role, of the coach role, and also of the two roles on the left, the teacher and the mentor. And you need to be able to convey your knowledge in ways that other people can pick them up. And that's the teaching as well as the mentoring. Mentoring is a one-on-one relationship, typically, sharing knowledge and providing that advice. But that when you're doing that, you are not coaching, but you're acting within this coaching framework. On top of all of these, or supporting all of these, you need competencies in the technical, business, or transformation area. And realistically, it's unusual to see one person having deep competencies in all three of these areas. Technical mastery, if we're in the domain of building software, this is the person who can teach, mentor, guide, coach, and support the team as they bring in the strong technical practices. So this would be somebody with a strong and deep technical background who can walk the talk of the technical mastery. There's also a need for people with the business mastery, with value-driven innovation, the product ownership, the product mindset, the value stream thinking, able to share their experiences and mentor, guide, and coach people in that innovation and product development space, product ownership, product management. And the third of the competencies is the transformation mastery. This is people who bring a depth of knowledge about organizational change and organizational design that act as the catalyst working at the most senior levels in organizations. Now, it's pretty unusual to see somebody who has deep competencies in all three of those supporting areas. For myself, I feel that I'm very strong in the business mastery space. I understand the transformation mastery, and I can talk to a certain extent and have worked at that level with some organizations, but I'm not a deep expert in that space. And technical mastery, not so much anymore. I used to be a programmer, but I haven't written code in anger since 2009. So while I can talk with the technical team and understand the concepts, I don't have the current up-to-date skills that really would equate to that technical mastery. So if you're thinking about being a coach, being an Agile coach for a team, look at these areas and think about what are the ones that I currently have competencies in, what are the ones that I need to build competency in, and where are the ones that I need to go and get deliberate practice. Go and study, go and explore, go and learn, and then build up those strengths. Because if you don't bring the right competencies, the right mindset with you in your coach's toolkit, then you can do harm to teams. And if you're not able to be a coach, please don't pretend. It's not good. Think about those ethical requirements and the code of conduct for being an effective coach. And it's also important that we understand, where is our scope? What is the scope of work? And really, really important is that scope starts with knowing yourself. A good coach, an experienced coach, is somebody who truly has held the mirror up and continues to hold the mirror up to themselves and to challenge themselves. They recognize their own biases and their own filters when they're exploring, and they're able to know their own triggers and say, okay, I need to manage and to control my responses and behaviors, and to know why they react. That gives them the ability to interact with individuals. And a lot of our work as coaches starts at working with individuals and then moving up to the team. And if we look at that breadth of coverage, the team facilitation activities, those start with self, go to individuals, and go to the team. Then the Agile coach sits in that team and program level. And then there's a different set of competencies. These are the people who are strong in the transformation mastery area. That is about enterprise Agile coaching. And there's a big jump and a significant difference in skill sets. So just because you've been a team level Agile coach for a period does not qualify you to become an organization level enterprise coach either. So it's about recognizing, knowing your own levels of competency and the areas that you can work with, and being self-aware enough to say, you know what, I'm not the right person to coach in this context, and to bring somebody else, to bring the people with the right competencies in to support you. So coaching often ends up being a team, a community who are supporting the teams in the organization. And there is a pathway. And this pathway, this is the IC Agile view. There are certifications. There's knowledge-based certifications that are available to you. And IC Agile has 3 on the coaching journey. The first one is the IC Agile Certified Professional. That's the foundational knowledge of Agile. And anybody working in an Agile environment should have this knowledge. And this is an important distinction I'm making here, that about knowledge versus competency. We start with knowledge and the foundational Agile knowledge. Then we start to build some experience. We're starting to exercise the Agile muscles. And now we get to a point where, you know what, I want to support other people. I'm ready in my journey to become a team facilitator, a Scrum master, if you will, in the Scrum language. But I'm ready to be that servant leader to support other people. And that's the team facilitation. Again, in the IC Agile world, there is a certification and there is a knowledge, a set of knowledge that you need to acquire to be able to facilitate teams. And like with the basic Agile muscles, you now start to exercise the facilitation skills, and you move from the novice to the practitioner. And then as a coach, if you've been in that facilitation role and it's exciting and it's enjoyable and it's something that you truly want You can see yourself serving and supporting others, because coaching is about bringing out the best in other people. The coach disappears. It's the team, it's the coachee who we look to support and promote them as the ones who get the benefit and who achieve the outcomes. And in the IC Agile world, we have the ICP-ACC, and this is a very, very popular certification. Almost too popular. There are many, many people who've done a 3-day training class and they call themselves coaches. You are not a coach when you've completed a 3-day training class. What you have done is acquired some knowledge. In the Shuha Re, you are now a novice as a coach. You may be re in the technical practices. You may be re in transformation mastery. You may be re in the business product management stuff. But you are a shoe level coach. And what's really important is do not hold yourself up as I am a coach when all you are is a novice. I am learning to be a coach. I am on a pathway towards becoming a coach. And you begin that with deliberate practice, where you go and spend time working with teams, supporting them, ideally under the guidance and with the support and help of a very experienced coach. Somebody who can truly mentor you in your coaching journey. Because as coaches, we need guidance. We need to be part of a community. And it's through that community interaction, through our experience with teams, that we build up now the coaching muscles. And we also encourage you strongly to go and build additional skills, to learn things that are beyond the knowledge pathway of these 3 ICP, ATF, and ICP, ACC, and ICP. There's more knowledge out there. So doing something like one of the International Coaching Federation certifications, learning those deep crafts of coaching. And as you build skills, you get to a point where, you know what, I can prove competency to a group of my peers. And that is in the IC Agile world, that's the IC Agile expert certification. And the competency, that expertise is assessed not by an examination, but by a live session with existing experts. And they are the ones who are saying, yes, this person has shown the competencies that are defined in the rubric for an IC Agile expert in coaching. But even at that level, you're an experienced practitioner. There's a long way still to go of continuing practice, deepening your knowledge, widening your knowledge to become truly an effective master practitioner coach at the re level. So think about that pathway and think about where you are right now and where you want to go in that pathway. And this is a journey of years. It is not a journey of weeks and months. And are you prepared? Are you committed to that journey? I've railed against the ICP-ACC people coming out of that and saying that they are coaches. They've got the base knowledge to become coaches at that point. But there's something that happens to us. And the Dunning-Kruger effect identifies it. It talks about what happens when we acquire some knowledge. fairly early on, once you've learned something new, you gain a level of confidence, which is the peak of Mount Stupid. I know enough to be dangerous, but it feels like I know everything. And then fairly rapidly, what happens as we start to apply this knowledge is we learn that actually what I thought I knew and that book, it wasn't quite right for this context. So we need to, and we fall into this valley of despair of, oh, I thought I knew, but now I realize there's so much more to learn. And then we climb what they call the slope of enlightenment. As we practice, as we apply our skill and knowledge, and we move towards those in the Shuha Re space where we're becoming a Ha-level practitioner. And we get to a plateau of sustainability where we truly have acquired the knowledge. But what's really interesting is we never have the same level of confidence, dare I say arrogance, about our competencies as we did at the beginning, at the peak of Mount Stupid. So when you hold the mirror up, when you think about your own competencies in this discipline, explore for yourself, are you moving through the slope of enlightenment, or am I still at Mount Stupid, where I believe that my book knowledge, that what I have learned is enough? Or have you humbly taken on, there's a lot more still to learn? The recognition that learning never ceases. I mentioned the expert certification. And what is really good, and the authors of the IC Agile learning outcomes and of the expert rubric have been incredibly generous, because all of these learning outcomes and this rubric are freely available. They're created as Creative Commons, and they talk about the disciplines and the competencies that people need to acquire to become proficient, to become expert in these practices. And there are the 5 areas of facilitating the Agile practice: professional coaching, coach as the mentor or steward of teams, coach as teacher, and understanding the Agile coach roles. And these are areas that I would encourage you to think about and explore in your own journey. Where am I? Where do I want to go? Go and have a look at the learning outcomes. They're freely available on the IC Agile website, icagile.com. Download them and think about, how would you exhibit those competencies? And one of those competencies is the concept of being able to ask powerful questions. So if you think of coaching as a technique, a mechanism to explore with somebody there and allow them to uncover the solution that they already have, to find their own journey rather than you giving them the journey, then one of the techniques of that is this concept of powerful questions. And there are a number of, there are many different powerful questions, but they all have things in common. They're open-ended, and they invite curiosity and exploration. So here are some examples. What do you want to have happen? What might be holding you back? What would the ideal outcome look like? So think of yourself asking these questions of a coachee and them deeply exploring this. A scary one: what are you willing to give up to achieve this outcome? On the other hand, some not particularly great questions are, have you tried that? Or why is this a problem? Or why did you do that? Can you do this? Or think about that. Anything where you are providing your own biased answer prevents your coachee from becoming an effective learner. Now, in a face-to-face session, I'd actually get you to do some practice of this, but for a session like this, I want you to consider it, and there are some examples. All of these slides are available on SlideShare, so please feel free to download them and use these questions. Consider these examples of different types of powerful questions and how you would use them and work with people. So just one simple set, and the reference there to the clean language stuff from Judy Reese, I would encourage you to explore that as well. So think about the competency of asking powerful questions, and think what were the types of questions that we're prone to asking, and they tend not to be the powerful questions, unfortunately. So the learning journey, I showed the 3 certifications in the IC Agile pathway: ICP, team facilitation, coaching, and then at the top of the pathway, the IC Agile expert. And let me tell you about my journey. So I've been a practitioner and trainer for 30, 33, 34 years. Actually, it's 35 years now. And I've worked in many, many roles in information technology. And about 5, 6 years ago, I started looking at coaching as a part of my career. And I built the practice of being an Agile coach. I got the certifications, the ICP, the ATF, and the ACC. I was even teaching the classes. But what I didn't have was that deep, deep experience. And it took me 4 years to build the coaching muscles to be competent. And at the same time, I was looking at gaining other knowledge. So the coaching for results competencies training that I achieved at the University of Victoria in Wellington. A lot of my work was focused on teaching, so training from the back of the room as a practitioner, a certified trainer, and things like the power to train. So I was building up those muscles, adding to that knowledge. And then in December 2017, I felt I was ready. I've got enough experience, I've got enough knowledge. I can take the ICP ACC, the ICAC, sorry, the expert certification. And I discovered that I wasn't ready. In the assessment session with this panel, a panel of 3 existing experts, I failed. Now, we talk in the Agile community about how failure is a gift, and we learn from failure. And we also know that failure is not fun. But my own experience of failing and learning from that failure, and the deep feedback and the very, very caring feedback that community, that group of experts gave me. They gave me clear advice as to where I had fallen short. And they pointed me to, this is what you need to go and do to build that deliberate practice to attain the skills and competencies. And I went away and I did it. I followed their advice. I got some more experience practicing, working with teams. And in July this year, I went back and I did it again and I passed. And this certification, this assessed by a group of my peers as an expert in this space, is something that is deeply meaningful to me, because it's not about knowledge. It's about showing the competency in the presence of a group of existing experts and getting the feedback from them that, yes, I'm good enough. And by the way, here are more opportunities to learn. And that's been a wonderfully fulfilling role, a wonderfully fulfilling journey. And this journey continues. Who knows where it will take me? So that's my experience. And I encourage you to think about, what will your journey be? What are you going to take away from this session? What are you going to think about doing differently from tomorrow? Thank you very much. So, Ishan, are we doing? Hi.
I think we have a few certain questions for you.
Fire away.
Yes, the first question is from Pranav. He's asking, hello, Shane, greetings. Need more explanation on difference between coaching and mentoring.
Right. So in the learning outcomes, they distinguish very clearly. Mentoring is a practice where you work with an individual and you do provide advice, and you're often sharing your experience in order to give them examples to draw from and learn from. So there's a teaching element, but you're not directing, you are still sharing your experience as something that they can consider. Whereas coaching is focused on the coachee probably has the answer for themselves, and as the coach, you're using tools like powerful questioning to help them expose that answer and bring it to the fore. So the coachee owns the solution, owns the decisions. The mentee in the mentor relationship is drawing on you for advice, and they will then make their own decisions, but they are looking to you for advice and guidance. Whereas as a coach, they're finding the solutions for themselves. And that distinction is really, really important, because we want as much as possible people to own their own outcomes.
All right. Thank you, Shane, for answering Pranav's question. And we have a couple of questions from Uma Shankar right now. How is agile estimation differ from traditional estimation?
Yeah. I would say that one sits right outside of the scope of the conversation we've got here. But I would point you to the work by Woody Zuhl. Have a look at the concepts of agile and adaptive planning. For a good resource for that, I would go to the Agile Alliance website and actually look at estimation and planning on the Agile Alliance website. That's a deep and long topic that would be a webinar all on its own.
Sure, I think we can plan that, right?
Cool.
Yes, I think, Uma, your question was answered for that. But then, Shane, Uma Shankar has another question for you. That's, can we use agile methodology in non-IT industries?
Absolutely. If you look at the work of the Business Agility Institute, it's all about how do we take these ideas and apply them in the broader world. And if we go back in the recent history, most of the ideas that the Agile Manifesto was based on actually came out of other industries. A lot of the work from people like Deming, a lot of the work from the Toyota production system. These are all things that influenced, and that work is carried on in parallel. Now, the IT industry grabbed some of it, and we've got the Agile, the Agile Manifesto, the values, the principles, and we've codified it because that's something we're good at as technologists, is codifying it. And now we're starting to spread it back. In the IC Agile world, we have business agility foundations. We have certifications in Agile marketing. We have Agile talent. There's a leadership certification, and we're busy with finance, because these are all areas that organizations need to explore as they adopt the adaptive ways of working. So anywhere where knowledge is the primary source of value, the Agile principles, values, and practices can be applied effectively.
Okay, that was an elaborate explanation. Thank you, Shane, so much for that. We are flooded with questions right now. I'll take up the next question from Jeremy. It's, can you recommend any path to get practice coaching when it isn't really a part of your job?
Volunteer. Work with your colleagues and offer your help. I worked with a non-profit organization, and I offered my services to them for free in order to get some coaching experience. They had an existing coach who was providing them support, so we partnered, we paired a lot of the time, and he provided me with a mentoring relationship, which really helped. Find a mentor, find somebody, and then, just offer your services. Be generous of your time.
All right, thank you again. Let's move to the next question from Balaji. Can you list one big challenge you have faced when coaching team?
Oh, I can list many, but one of them that jumps out at me was a team who were really doing well in their old ways of working. They were happy. They were very content with their old ways of working, and they were successful. But the organization needed to step up to a different level. They needed to accelerate their time to markets, and they were building successful products. So this wasn't a burning platform. It wasn't a crisis, but this was, we need to get better. So the really interesting challenge there was motivating, working with these people who are successful, and giving them some good reasons and some good support to get outside of that successful comfort zone and actually try some practices that they'd never done before, and some things that were quite scary, because they were very they were a very siloed team. They were very, very collaborative, but they had very narrow specialized skills, and their handoffs were very, very quick. So there weren't a lot of bottlenecks. It wasn't the sort of problem that you see in many organizations where that traditional way of working gets in the way. These people were doing it really, really well and highly collaboratively, and we needed to help them think about becoming much more cross-functional and less siloed. That was a really interesting challenge, because it was such an unusual situation. Most often you're going in and the teams are struggling with the old way of working. they're not seeing the outcomes that they hope. But these people were really successful and wanted to do better.
Okay. Well, thank you once again, Shane. I think we still have few minutes. We can take few more questions. Is that okay with you, Shane?
Yep.
Okay. Let's take this question from Gopa Kumar. His question is, could you elaborate a little if there is any convergence between design thinking principles and agile coaching? And second point, why you say it as agile coaching and not coaching? Why qualify?
Right. So I'll answer that one first, if I may. Professional coaching is a professional skills area. Agile coaching is a subset of that, but also adds to it. And if we go back to the framework that Lisa provides us, it adds to it the additional areas of being an Agile lean practitioner and bringing in the facilitating, teaching, mentoring. So it's professional coaching and Agile coaching. Where does design thinking fit? It is a set of practices and to a certain extent a philosophy that aligns well with Agile thinking. So for me, if I look at this framework here, design thinking fits squarely in the business mastery area. And it is something that does fit with the Agile ways of thinking and working.
Okay. Thank you, Shane. I think we have another question which is similar. I think Akshay Jain, his question is similar to the previous answer which Shane gave. But then if Shane could elaborate on his question once again. Akshay's question is, how much proficient should a coach should be with respect to competence shown in butterfly diagram? For example, should a coach be technically sound to become an agile coach? Or can he have certain amount of knowledge? Same for business competency. Should a coach be business expert as well?
A coach, in my opinion, needs to be deep in one of those three areas and at least aware of the key elements of the other two. If I think of myself, my depth is in the business mastery space. I'm able to talk in the technical space, and I understand some of the key elements of the transformation, the organizational design, business change, motivation, and so forth. But if I'm my depth and the area where I can bring the most value to a team in terms of my mentoring, teaching capabilities is in that business mastery space.
Okay. Thank you, Shane. I think we can still ask for a few more questions. Yes, we have a question from Krishnendu. In today's dynamic business practice, are we able to do coaching practically?
The most successful organizations have full-time coaches. So yes, because it's about supporting the team. And if we think of the analogy, we call the role the coach. You would never have a sports team, a professional sports team, without a coach. And in fact, without multiple coaches who are coaching the teams on the different disciplines. And the most successful organizations are the ones that recognize that it is important to build in capacity for the organization to learn. And a big part of that is providing both the time and the competencies. And the services of the coach are about creating that learning organization. Organizations that are too busy and that focus on 100% utilization and want people to be working as hard as possible all day long are the ones that actually fall over and fail in today's modern world.
Well, I hope, Krishnendu, your question was answered. Moving to the next question by Ravi Kiran. It's a pretty interesting question from my point of view. The question is, what are the certifications you would recommend for other slices, please, like transformation mastery, professional coaching?
Well, for professional coaching, I would look at one of the ICF, the International Coaching Federation certifications. For transformation mastery, I would look at the enterprise coaching track from IC Agile as a starting point. And then some of the organizational design, and I can't remember the organization responsible for the organization design community, but Diana Larson is deeply engaged in that community now, and that's very much about organizational transformation. But I'd start with the enterprise coaching track from IC Agile.
Okay. I have a pretty interesting question, Shane, from Prakash. How should a coach engage with the team who is not keen on accepting a coach? The leadership wants a coach, but the team is not welcoming. Should the coach impose himself on the team?
My feeling in that regard is no. It's go to the team. You're a servant leader. You're there with an offering. If the team is not ready to receive that, then maybe explore with them, why not? And they might have very valid reasons. If coaching is being seen as some way to remove a flaw in the team, but what the team sees are organizational level blockers, then maybe my role as the coach is not to work with that team, but to work with the team's managers and create the safe space first, and then go back and work with the team. But start with the conversation.
Okay. It pretty much answers the current situation, what Prakash might have been facing. Yes, I think if anybody else has a few more questions, I think I have answered. I have asked, or Shane has answered most of the questions over here. Most of the questions I found out to be common, so I skipped those questions. So any other questions from anybody right now? We're still having few more minutes. Shane has few more minutes, though the session will be lasting for a couple of more hours. So, any questions? Okay, we have a question. How can you practice agile coaching if you have a small team of 3 to 4 people and don't have an opportunity to expand?
Practice on each other. Be open to supporting and practicing on each other. And then again, look for volunteer opportunities. Talk to other teams and maybe look outside the organization.
Okay, that's great. I think, yes, we are already running out of time, and we should be getting ready for the next session as well. And Thank you, Shane. Thank you so much for your expertise. You're sharing your knowledge with us and spending time with us. And yes, for regarding these slides, you can connect with me for the slides. And as Shane has informed, you can connect, you can get the slide on SlideShare as well. Yeah. So if you have any other further questions, you can forward it to me and I will forward it to Shane and we can get it answered for you. Okay. Thank you, Shane. Pleasure having you here with us today.
Thank you very much, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, Madeeha. How are you doing?
Hi,
can you hear me?
I am good. Yes. I hope my voice is also clear. Everything
is it is, but then if you can speak a little louder, probably I'm facing this issue. I'm not sure if others are facing that. Your volume, your speech volume is a little low, I guess.
Okay, let me try. Maybe meanwhile we can do this testing as well. Is it clear?
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. I think just let me 1 second. Still, I would say the voice is a little low. I think I'm not getting any comments from our participants yet.
The
voice is low, yes.
Okay, let's do the settings. So it's good to connect because we have 3-4 minutes. Let me try. Just give me a minute.
I would suggest you one thing. Probably you can remove the earphones and check it without the earphones.
All right. Is it clear now?
Yes, it's better.
Because I just I just did the mic settings.
Perfect. So yes, the comments are also when it's better now.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yes.
So that's better. It's good.
Okay. So hello all. Today I am here with Madeeha Khan, and she is currently working as a project management trainer and consultant, and working in Pakistan Agile Scrum Exchange. And she's going to be here with us. Yes, and she's going to be here with us for the next 1 hour. For her topic, it is Agile mindset. Yes, no, not yet.
Or not yet. Yeah, perfect.
Yes. So over to you, Madeeha. You can continue. You can start right away.
All right, thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay, Sean, I'm just starting this slideshow. I hope it's all good.
It's perfect.
All right. So first of all, I would like to say hello to everyone, to all the participants who have joined us. And I would also like to say thanks to Eisenbridge team. And I'm happy to be here to be part of Discuss Agile, this virtual conference. So as you all know, my name is Madeeha Khan Yousafzai. And basically, I'm a project management trainer and consultant. And here I would like to talk about the 4 P's of my life, which I have been living. So first of all, project management is my passion, and I'm fortunate to make it my profession as well. And right now at this stage of time, I feel it's time to pay back to society as well and to promote project management so that we can benefit others as well. Overall, I'm having 10 years of experience and have worked with different companies and in the different sectors as well. So today, the topic of my talk is Agile mindset, yes, no, or not yet. Before getting into the details, I would just say that I will try my best to make this session interactive. I would be asking you some questions and will give you the time to think about it. Maybe because of time limitation, we wouldn't be able to take all the responses, but Ishan is going to facilitate me in that. And we can take your questions in mid of the session and also at end of the session. So you can also prepare for that. And hopefully here, we are going to learn out of it. So there are basically 2 reasons that why I have chosen this topic. So the number one is that many of the companies are going through adopting Agile. Some of them have done the transformation, and some of them are going through it already. And yes, there are some companies and organizations who have already embraced Agile mindset. They are living this Agile culture, and they have matured it well. So the other reason is that why I chose this topic, because I can relate it with my own personal experience, where basically that I worked initially in waterfall mindset, and then I went through this transition. And why this transition was very smooth for me, because I believe that I have been living with the Agile mindset already. And yes, so the focus of my talk is that how Agile mindset resonates with the growth mindset. So there I will give you a question which all of you can think. And yes, so like how many of you people have heard of fixed mindset versus growth mindset? Because my talk is going to resonate with like how Agile mindset is a growth mindset, and why it is essential that we all should have Agile mindset to embrace agility as an individual and as an organization. So moving towards this next slide, and like I would like to talk about what are the learning objectives which you are going to see and which you will come across throughout my presentation. We are going to see that what is Agile mindset. We will see that why Agile mindset is considered as growth mindset. And as the topic of my talk is Agile mindset, yes, no, or not yet. So I'm going to talk about the power of yet as well. And I will like in my next slide, I'm going to cover that what is my inspiration for choosing this whole talk. And then we will see what are the characteristics which make a mindset as Agile mindset. And we are going to discuss what are the benefits which one can have if they are having Agile mindset. And we will also see that one can also establish their mindset into Agile mindset. And later we are going to talk about that how we can foster the Agile culture across an organization. So as I earlier spoke that my Agile mindset talk resonates with growth mindset. So when we are talking about mindset, so that means it is essential to talk about Professor Carol Dweck. She is a psychology professor at Stanford University. And basically, she is known for her research work in the concept of fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And yes, here I would like to mention that in Agile world, we believe in growth mindset. So now whenever I'm talking about Agile mindset, that means I'm talking about growth mindset. And yes, Carol Dweck is also known for her one of the talks where she spoke about this power of yet, this concept. And basically, I would like to take you into that background that there is one university in Chicago which gives the grading to the student as like where either you pass the exam or otherwise they give you the grade of not yet. So which means that, all right, yet you haven't mastered to the level where you can pass some certain exam. So that is the inspiration which Carol Dweck talked about, and then later she worked in that. So in the coming slides, I will be talking about that in detail. So now there are two statements which you can see on the screen right now. And here again, I would like to invite you all to think about it. So where one statement says, no, you cannot solve this mathematics questions. I'm just taking it like, one very simple example because we can relate the Agile mindset in our work. We are a sports person, we are a businessman, or we are studying somewhere. So we can relate it with all of that. So let's say maybe in life you would have come across this statement. Maybe you heard it, someone said it to you, or maybe you said it to someone that no, I cannot solve this. I cannot solve this problem. Or the other statement is, no, I cannot solve this problem as of yet. So let's see what are the mindsets which are working behind that. And yeah, so like the statement one basically refers to a specific mindset where we all believe, and basically the followers of this mindset believes that we are born with a certain skills and intelligence level, and we cannot change it. So that is one mindset. While the other mindset which is being referred in the other statement, in my statement number 2 here, that yes, yet we are not at this level, but we can always improve our skills, intelligence, and knowledge level by putting some effort into that and by putting some hard work. So let's see what are the two mindsets, if in case you can relate both of these two statements in your life as well. So, all right, the first statement was referring to the fixed mindset, where the believer of this fixed mindset believes that there are certain skills and we cannot improve them, while the other mindset is agile mindset, which is basically like, making us move. So this is the power of yet overall, that we believe we can improve, we can always work hard. It all takes a little more passion, a little more practice, and a little more hard work. And then we can achieve the success to a certain level. So now let's see what are the basic traits of agile mindset. Because if you see in my example that if we are thinking that, all right, either we can do something or we just give up and we do not do it. So if we are into this mindset, that where we are embracing all the changes and challenges, that makes us that we are having the agile mindset, because we are up for the challenges. We do not see, we are not discouraged that, all right, we cannot do it, or maybe we will be failed. And what if, what if we do not succeed out of practicing any activity in our life where we are believing that, no, we cannot do it, or we lack this specific talent. So if we are having agile mindset, that will make us to embrace all the changes. We will be open to that. And why the change is essential? Because everyone is going through the transformation. And yes, this agile culture was not there. We all had been working into the traditional mindset and traditional way of work, which is also good. Like here, we are not saying that that is not a good way of working, but now the need of time and technology is to go for agile way of working. So always remember that change is the only constant. So we should make our mindset ready to embrace all the changes and try to experiment them and experience it. And only then we can find that, all right, what we are going through and how we can see that was this change was good for us or not. So at least we are there, that we are taking the risk and we are experiencing something new. And only then we can find out that how good it is. So embracing changes and challenges are the same here. And the agile mindset makes you ready, that you should have the confidence to take risk. But whenever you are taking risk, so I will not say that take any risk at any cost of time and money and all the investment, but always take a risk which is informed and calculated. And here I will basically relate it with overall agile values and culture, and also with the Scrum. But my talk focuses overall about the agile way of working. So I will not go into the details of what is a Scrum or what is XP and what are their values, but I'm going to sum all of them up here. So whenever we are going to take the informed risk, as you all must be familiar with the time boxing, this concept in Scrum. And why we do all the activities time box, so that we can save time and we can save money and we can also save the effort of our resources. So that's why having an agile mindset will make you to take informed risk. And yes, when we are having this agile mindset, it makes us ready that the failures or the mistakes are not going to discourage us. We are going to see them as lessons learned, and lesson learned are part of our retrospective as well, that we always see that what went well and what didn't go so good, and later how we can improve it. So these all are the traits which if you all have been following in your life, so you can see that you are having this agile mindset. And in agile mindset, whenever there is a mistake is made, so we see as this learning opportunity for the growth, and we can always see that how we can improve our current abilities. And the best thing which I would like to talk about, that you can develop the mindset at any time. So if you think that right now you are having the fixed mindset and you are not having the agile mindset, so the best thing about having agile mindset is that it can also be developed at any point of time in life. So not only that we can cultivate our intelligence level to a certain extent and also the skills, but the whole this growth mindset can be established. And that is the plus point of having the agile mindset. So as we just talked about that, what are the traits which could make a mindset as agile mindset? So now let's see what are the benefits of having agile mindset and why it is essential to have. So as I talked about that, having agile mindset makes you to embrace changes and challenges. So that means it also makes you creative, because when you are trying different things, so you will explore your creativity level, that where do you stand and how creative you are. And it's all about, like, we all get creative when we get the opportunities. So to find out that what are the right opportunities, what we can relate it, it's all about that we should experiment and we should welcome all the opportunities which come in our way and in our work, so that we can see that, all right, how creative we are. And once you are creative, so you will see there are so many good things happening. It will make you innovative as well. And because maybe you are going to find and discover something new. And let's suppose it is any product or service which no one would have ever thought about. And then just some idea clicks to you and you start working on it, being creative, and you are up to go for a new challenge. So you will see that maybe it is working and it is positive. So that will make you innovative as well. And here, when we are going to talk about that, there are always the lessons learned in our agile culture, that we learn from our mistakes. And if something doesn't go well, so we basically try to improve it through our retrospective. So agile mindset benefit is that it makes us resilient, that every time if something doesn't go well, we will take a learning out of it, and we will see that how we can improve. So it will make us resilient, that every time there is a failure, we will always bounce back, because we are not being discouraged by any failure or anything which didn't go well, but we will see that how we can improve. So our focus is always to go for a better side and to see the better views of all the activities which we have been doing. So once you are creative and innovative and also resilient, so that will lead you to make a persistent person and a persistent professional as well. Because every time you are going through some changes, so you will cope up with them nicely. Maybe there will be the challenges, there will be the tough times, but you will stick to it, and you will go through that phase. And once we can see, we have become persistent and we are innovative as well, and creative. So you can see all of these benefits are leading towards to improve your performance, because you are being given the chances and opportunities to go and experiment new things and to take the informed risks overall. So eventually you will feel good and confident that yes, your management is trusting you. They are giving you the opportunity, and they are not going to judge you or evaluate you based on your experiences which didn't work well. But they are seeing this fact that yes, you are trying, and you are trying all the new things. So it will eventually, this confidence will, bring the good performance, and it will become better, and also it will become superior later on with each day of time, day by day. And once we are performing very well, so of course we will feel satisfied, and our employer will be happy, our peers will be happy, and the most important, our customers will be happier, because we are delivering the value to them. And when everything is so good, so eventually I believe we will be very happy, mentally satisfied, and it will have a very good impact on our health. So the well-being matters for all of us. And yes, this is the ultimate benefit which you will achieve after having the agile mindset. Okay, so now when we have seen that what are the traits which could make a mindset as agile mindset, and also that what are the benefits, and I believe they are the very appealing benefits, which now making you to think that how we can introduce the agility across the organization, because if it is like one person is having agile mindset, so how we can see this synergy if every employee, every affiliate is having the same agile mindset, our clients are having it, our vendors are having agile mindset. So we can see that overall, what will be the great impact on the organization it will be having, and also the ecosystem which we all are creating for each other by having agile mindset. So we can see that what are the benefits and the good results we can achieve out of having agile mindset. So there are certain ways through which you can not only introduce the agile culture in your organization, but also to live it well. So first of all, when we start talking about that, how the organization should have the agile mindset, so it's all about that it should be across all the levels. Not only that some specific teams are supposed to do it, but it's like, from the top management to everyone in that organization should basically believe in agile mindset and should live the agile way. So it's all about that you walk the agile talk. It's just not only that, all right, we are just discussing what is agile way and how we can do it, or we are just practicing it in some of the projects. So as it is being said, that do not do agile, but be agile. So that is what matters the most. And yes, once like everyone is aligned and we all are thinking in agile way, so what we should do that the management should also challenge the status quo for the other colleagues and peers, and we should always encourage the people for their efforts, even if they are failing in their efforts. So what does our focus should be that yes, they are trying and they are trying to improve. So that's why we say that focus on the progress, but not on the perfection. So it's all about, yes, we are progressing towards the agile way. And if like, anything bad happens during that transformation, so let it let it happen and learn out of it, but still keep moving on towards fostering the agile culture. So as it is being said that every small effort will count, every small accomplishment will matter. So build new habits when you are going through the transformation in your organization. And yes, it's all about that, taking all the little steps so that you can ensure that, all right, you are on the right way. And yes, please remember one thing, that when we are talking about changing the culture or introducing a new culture in our organization, so remember the culture changes cannot be made overnight, but we can mold them over a certain period of time. So yes, maybe it is going to be a journey which will take time, but as it is being said, that slow and steady always wins. So keep moving forward towards living the agility across your organization. And for that, what we all need the passion that, all right, we would like to change, we would like to go for agility and practice it. And a little more training and the hard work should always be there, because once you are putting the training and the efforts into that, so you will eventually experience the agile culture. And as it is being said, that our focus should be, it's not only that, yes, we are good, so let it be, and we should stay in the same state of mind and the same state of work. But why not we can improve day by day and to become better? Because it is being said that we all are basically, we even humans are the example of transformation day by day. if you see that, all right, 5 years back, what were our skill set, or 10 years back, how we used to do the work. So we can see every day we are transforming ourselves. So the same way we can transform our organization. If we are passionate about that, all right, we should be improved version of ourselves. So if we can be improved version of our own self, so that our organization can be also an improved entity day by day. So for that, if you want to live agile culture, what you should do, that you should like connect and coach with the right people, with the right mindset, and also to empower each other. Because empowering is one of the very good agility concept, where we believe in the teamwork, and where it is where we like live this value of being a servant leader. So there it is all about the teamwork and empowering each other and creating the synergy to achieve the goals. So always, yes, once you are connected and empowering each other, you should also coach. And we can always see, like, one person can be a coach who is good with all of this agile mindset. And we can help other people who are struggling, that we can coach them and we can help, and we can share our experiences with them, that, all right, this is the time you are facing this challenge, you can talk about it, and we are going to facilitate you, and we are going to help you. So when we are, the other way is that we can foster the continuous learning, because it is all right, sorry, I just got some message. Well, sorry for this interruption. So yes, I was talking about this foster the continuous learning, because being in Agile, it is all about that we are learning day by day. And if here I would like to refer the concept of empirism, which is one of the main concepts in Scrum as well. And overall, I'll again relate it to the Agile way of working, that why this empirism concept is there, that, all right, we learn out of your experiences, we learn out of the lessons learned, and then we try to improve day by day. So that's why the continuous learning should be fostered and cherished, and we should encourage everyone to keep doing it, so that we can learn and we can see that how we can improve. And once we are on this Agile journey where we are learning, so we should also build a feedback loop. Again, as we talk about the retrospective and other, this terminologies here. So it's all about that why feedback loop is important, so that we can see that, all right, what is our performance? Where do we stand right now? Where do we want to go? What do we want to achieve? And once it is there, and if there is anything during our way which is not happening the right way, or the way we plan to do it, so we can get the help through that feedback loop, that, all right, what we should continue to do and what we should stop to do, so that we can achieve our goals. So building the feedback loop will help you in that. And accordingly, we all can learn and adjust throughout our Agile journey, because the feedback will help us to make the changes and to be flexible. Because again, agility is, and being Agile is the concept of that, how fast you can respond to the changes. So it's all about that we can basically act as per the feedback we are getting during our way. And the one thing that which we have started, that as I had been talking about the Agile transformation, and that every company or every individual is going through that. So what they can do, that whenever some change is happening in your life, at your workplace, so always stay committed to the change. Once you are into it, then go through it. And then you can experience that, all right, that is what we could do. So it's all about, like, you can only find what you can do or what you can improve by only experiencing that situation. So stay committed to change despite of all the challenges which you are going to face during the transformation period. But again, being Agile means that, all right, embrace those changes and challenges and face them. So, all right, now here, what I'm going to talk about that, as we have talked about that, all right, how this agile mindset can be nourished and nurtured. So, if you see that if agile mindset is being developed throughout the journey, so we can see, and right now, yes, agile mindset, developing the agile mindset is one thing, but living the agile culture is another, and practicing agile in our work, that is another thing as well. So it's all about, if there is any organization who is going through the agile adoption, or either they have already adopted the agile way of working. So what they can do, that once this agile mindset is basically established across each individual within the organization, so eventually every person, every team, and the whole organization is going to experience the amazing results, because when it is going to make you creative, innovative, and resilient, so it will make you more confident. You will be able to take risk while they are still the calculated and informed risk. So then it will improve your performance. It will give you the confidence, and the good performing employees always value that the customer should be happy, and we transfer all those good value to the customer through our work. So when we are winning the customers, that means we are having a very good working culture as well. So yes, and this journey is not that easy, but yes, it is doable, and you can go through that because you can develop the whole agile mindset itself, which is the best thing I earlier talked about. So when you are going through nurturing and developing the agile mindset, so start by taking little steps, and remember, every accomplishment will matter into your journey. So here I would like to put this quote, which is taken by my favorite professor's book, Professor Nathan Ford at INSEAD University, that once you nail it and then you scale it, only then you can experience the agility, that by making it deeper day by day and living it very well. So yes, right now that is all from my side. And yeah, I would like to say thanks to all of you. And if there are any questions, so we can take that, please.
Thank you, Madeeha. Thank you so much for this talk given by you. Yes, we do have certain questions already posted for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, because I was sharing my screen, so I couldn't see the questions. That's why.
No worries at all. We have a dedicated session right now. We have a lot of time available for the question answers.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so the very first question, let's go ahead directly. It is from Abhay Tiwari. Yes. So how to transform ourselves from fixed mindset to agile mindset, as fixed mindset is coming from long time.
All right. Okay. So if you want to go for moving from traditional mindset or the fixed mindset towards the agile mindset, so as I talked about these traits, here I would like to, So what you can do, that you can start taking, the little steps basically. And it's all about that. You can see, because I give this example, that where I was talking about, no, I cannot solve this problem. Or you start seeing the new perspective that, no, I cannot solve this problem as of yet. It all depends what are the challenges you are facing. And you should always be confident and up for a change. That all right, let me experience it first, that how I can change from a fixed mindset towards a growth mindset. So it's all about that. Once you are being confident and you are not afraid of the failures, because that is what matters the most. Sometimes we are being discouraged because of the negative feedback we get for our work, or maybe for any activity which we are doing. So always see the criticism as the opportunity where you can learn. But yes, there are two types of criticism, where one feedback is only the one which is the negative feedback, that's all, and you cannot see anything out of it. So just or otherwise, what you can see that, all right, this is the feedback someone has given you for your work or any of the activity you are doing. And then you can see that, all right, how I can change it, because you should see that what is the value of that feedback, because we say that feedback is a gift which one person gives to another person. So it's all right, always welcome the negative feedback if it ever happens to you. Just do not feel discouraged, and do not see that who is the person who is giving this feedback, but always see that, all right, what good I can make out of that feedback. And eventually you can by living all of these traits day by day in your personal work as well and in your professional work, you can experience that you are on the journey towards building agile mindset. And as you said that, all right, if we are having the fixed mindset for a certain time or for a long time, even then it is not a challenge. So because again, as we said, that we are going to embrace the change and the challenge. So it's all right if we had been living the fixed mindset for all of the years of our life. But yes, by trying the little things, we can move towards agile mindset.
Well, thank you so much, Madeeha. I think that will be answering Abhay's question. But then on another platform, we have a question from Narendra. Moving forward to the question specific to Abhay, basically, not to Abhay, continuing the question of Abhay, the question is, how do you introduce this agile mindset with C-level executives in huge organizations?
All right. So, when it comes to introducing a concept, that is just one situation where we can see that, all right, if this person is having agile mindset or not. But if you see that the CEOs or any C-level or management, they should always up for going to experiment new things, because that is what they do. They always need to see that how they can expand the business and how they can make their employees happy and how they can win more customers. So when it comes to that, it's all about that. It's not about that we are going to just come up and to say any C-level person that you are having a fixed mindset and you should turn into agile mindset. No, it doesn't happen that way. But it's all about that by practicing, we all can move towards agile mindset. And yes, in that, what you can do, as I said earlier, that we should, when we want that, we should introduce the agility across the organization. So what we can do, that we can empower and encourage the people, and we should walk the agile talk. So if I'm in a team where my C-level management is not is let's suppose having the fixed mindset, so what I can do, that, all right, I will be the one who is ready to take the lead and who is ready to make this change. And what all I would be needing from my management is to support me, to let me take the risk, and to see that what are the benefits we are going to have. So even if you are having this situation that where you see that, all right, your management is having a different mindset and you are having a different mindset, so always come with the evidence that, all right, why we should have the agile mindset. And there you can see that, all right, what are the benefits later on you are going to experience. So maybe by working into that direction, you can make your management convinced as well through your work and through your success that it is good to have agile mindset and we all should have it.
Okay, thank you, Madeeha. Now, actually, we will be moving into the Q&A section where we have all the questions already ready for you. We have eight questions already. I think I can see, yes, and they keep flowing in. Okay, let me take the first question from Ronak. Okay, so Ronak is asking, can you specify any best practice, or basically any way that help in transforming fixed mindset to agile mindset in any organization? But then I think he's asking, like, any training is there, any coaching is there, or any other way how you can change your mindset?
All right. Okay, so the part of this question I already answered, that as we talked about that, all right, if it should be a C-level who is having a different mindset, or how we can go for developing or establishing the growth mindset. So what you can do, yes, there are certain trainings and courses are available for living the mindset and the mindfulness as well. And yeah, the my inspiration is through the professor, Dr. Carol Dweck, and it's her book Mindset. So which you can find easily. And when you are going to read that book, so it says that, all right, having this growth mindset, it's not about only at work, but we can practice it in our personal life. We can have it in our personal relations as well. It is good for parenting as well. So I will recommend all of you to read this book, which is titled as Mindset by Carol Dweck. So that is one book. And then there are certain companies who are offering the training courses on mindset. Some of them you can find on lynda.com. And there is one institute, the Neuroscience Leadership Academy, which is working with specific organizations, but they have a very good blog. And I will share those links later with Ishan, so that like all of you can get it access. And what I will do, that you can also follow my LinkedIn profile, and I will post it here. And I will also write this article after, this today's session, so that you can relate it. And I'll give the reference of Discuss Agile there. And then you can go through that book as well, the link, and also for Neuroscience Leadership Academy blogs as well.
Okay. Well, continuing to your answers again, Ronak was asking one question. How did you, as per your experience, what worked best in your experience to inculcate Agile mindset?
All right.
Only your experience.
Okay. I would definitely love to answer that. So as when we talk about Agile mindset, so it's all about, there is one thing which I have been practicing, and yes, it's not only about that what training courses we can do. I'll suggest all of you that you all make a list that, all right, there are certain things which I should do, and there are certain things which I should do less. So you can make two lists, and one is what I should do more and what I should do less. So if you think that at times you are having a fixed mindset, and let's suppose what we can see that, let me take one example, that, all right, how I should embrace the challenge. So do more is that I should be more confident. That's a do more. And the do less is to feel afraid of it. So whenever you are having the one challenge, so be up for it, and be more open towards it rather avoiding it. So do less avoiding and do more of basically being open to that challenge. So now how I can relate it with my own experience, that the best thing which I have been living, it's all about that we should think that, all right, how we can create synergy, because that is what I personally believe in. And that's why I have been running the Agile community, so that I can facilitate people and to enable and empower them. And yes, to see them growing as well. So these are the certain things which I have been living in my life. And for me, if I want to see that, all right, can I do something, or I cannot do this thing or that thing? So what I do, I always go and experience it. And my mindset makes it, easier, that, all right, maybe, if everyone, we have so many good examples around the world, that there are certain people who have done something out of, let's suppose, least resources, or even some people have done the things where they were not having any opportunities, but they made their ways. And because it's all about, you should stay focused. So that is the one thing which I'm having in my life, and where I keep striving for it. So that is my experience learning, that stay focused what you want to do. And again, as it says, commit to change. So that is what I have been living, that, all right, sometimes the journey is very difficult, but if you have decided you want to do something, and you should do it because it's a good thing to have, then keep doing it. So be it even slow and steady. At times I even go slow in my life, but I stay consistent to experience a change.
Okay. Thank you. I think this will answer the question of Thaksin Ingol as well. His question was, if an organization is not following an agile mindset, and
Yes.
I, as the only person, wants to start the change the mindset of the organization, what shall be the first step?
Right.
You want to
So the
add
first step,
something? Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. So the first step is if you want to change this scenario, then change it. That's the key here. That take the lead to do that and be your own example and become an example and inspiration to others. That all right. This is what I have been doing because I wanted to show it to you people that yes, we all should have we should have agile mindset. Only then we can live the agile culture. So that's why, even on this current screen, you can see that I said walk the agile talk. So if you want to do it and there is no one around who is thinking in the same way, then you can see as one of the bigger and positive opportunities for you to make to basically inspire others by doing it.
Okay. I
Yes.
think Taskin, his question is resolved over here. Moving to the next question from Rahul Sharma. He's
Mm-hmm.
asking, how important is unlearning in compared to learning while on the journey of agile mindset?
All right. Yes. Yeah. It is being said that you should always be ready to unlearn, learn, and relearn. So if there is some challenge where you see that, all right, this is something very fixed in my mind. So that's why I earlier suggested that make a list where you see that there are the things which you should do more, and there are the things which you should do less. So when you are and I gave the example in case Rahul you heard it earlier that if I was talking about this one example that there is some challenge which either I can see that either I should accept that challenge or I should avoid that challenge because I do not know will I be able to succeed after accepting that challenge or will I be failed. So if you want that where you think that all right what you can do more is that embrace the challenges, do more of that, be more confident, and do less side is that all right I will not be afraid to taking the challenges. So eventually when you are having this list that okay this is my fixed mindset and there are the things which doesn't go well by having on the way of having agile mindset to start doing less. And yes, so that means you are going to de-learn all of those fixed mindset traits and eventually you will be learning the agile mindset.
Okay. I assume, Rahul, your question was answered by Madeeha perfectly. I felt it was perfectly answered. And so moving on to the next question from Ujjwal, to which I can see Rahul has already answered. But then I'm posing this question to Madeeha once. This
Sure.
question is, with market trends changing and new technologies coming in, like cloud,
Yes.
blockchain, DevOps, microservices, would there be changes in how agile is being practiced and followed?
All right. Precisely to answer it, when we are talking about agile mindset, so the concept of agile is being able to quickly respond to the changes. So if all of these changes are coming, so yes, you can relate having this agile mindset with all of these latest technologies, be it in blockchain, be it into cloud, or be it into data analytics. So the having the agile mindset is overall you can see as the umbrella where you can cover all the changes within blockchain, within big data. So please do not see it because I believe that your question is making it that like having agile mindset is different than going through the blockchain. Because when we are talking about agile way of working, that is one concept. And if your question, because I feel that your question refers to this, implementing agile and doing agile in software development or in any projects or in any work domain. So that's why we say that when it comes to the agile concept, so it's not about doing the agile, but it's all about being the agile. So like when all of these new technologies are coming, having the agile mindset will make you to basically enjoy all of those changes and foster the changes along your journey.
Okay, well, this was perfectly answered. I think Ujjwal again, he would be clear now with his question. Yeah, Ujjwal already thanked you.
You're welcome.
And yes, we have a question from Akshay Jain. People say Agile is just a philosophy. What do you think?
Well, no, Agile is not just a philosophy. I will beg to differ about that, because if we see that we can see Agile is like, you know, a mindset and something which we can live on and we can experience it. And again, I will refer, because since I could resonate with my experience, so I feel that why my journey was very easy and smooth, because I had been living the agile mindset already, though even that time this term was not there. But it was there in self, that we can inculcate it into our values, because when it comes to having a teamwork, where we are encouraging others as well. So yes, this is one of the traits, and this is just one of the examples that yes, agile is going to be there always.
Okay, well, busting the myths, Agile is not just a philosophy, right?
Yes.
So moving on to the next question by Prakash, and probably this is the last question I can see. And I know you have pretty much answered this question again and again, over and over again.
But I would, yeah, that's fine.
So this question is, he's specifically asking, you know, can you share 2 specific techniques that can be used to help someone change from a fixed to agile mindset?
All right. Okay, so the fixed, like basically the 2 techniques. So the one technique which I already told, and yes, you know, Shan is so right that is what I have spoken about 2 times right now. So I can talk about it 3rd time. That make a list, that because I have spoken about that, what are the traits of having agile mindset and what are the benefits. So let me come up on this screen where we are talking about the traits of agile mindset. So like this is just a very specific list, and it's a very precise list, and we can make it a longer list as well. But what you can do, that take this list, and where you see that what technique you can do, like the one thing was that you can make a list of the things to do in your life, in your work, and what you should do more and what you should do less. And I put my example across these basically, you know, the traits, that how you can embrace the change and challenge, are you taking the risk or not, and how do you see the failures and mistakes. So that is, yes, one technique which you can do that by making the list. And the other is you can not only implement agile mindset in your professional life, but also in personal life. You can see even in your relations that how you are basically handling and dealing with your relations. So that is the technique. It is not only a specific or scientific technique which I can say that you should follow, but I also mentioned that what books you can read, and there is one book titled as Mindset, and it is written by Professor Carol Dweck. So you can also read that, and then you can see that what is the technique. Because the best thing about having agile mindset and living the agile culture, we always say that there is no hard and fast rule or any like, you know, specific framework which we all follow. And whenever it comes to any specific the frameworks, it always gives you a bigger picture, and then it allows you to do the best practices. So that's the best thing about having an agile mindset and living the agile culture, that it is not making us bound by any specific methodology, that only you should do this and then you can achieve agility. But it gives you it gives you the core values and the frameworks, and then you can start practicing it, and then you can see what works well best for you.
Okay. Perfect. And I think we still have pretty much time. One last question, probably, Madeeha.
Sure, please.
Sure. Question from Venkatesh. Can you comment on what feel good factor in Agile in your experience?
All right, I would be needing your pardon that what is the good factor of having Agile?
Good. What is the feel good factor?
The feel good factor.
Yes.
Okay, so the feel good factor is that when I see my 10 years journey, so there are so many things which I think I never thought of, or let's suppose even dream of that. All right, I would be doing this, but when I knew that okay, there is a certain goal in my life which I want to achieve, no matter what will be the journey, how what will be the ups and downs. So now when I see that all right, my career is coming along as I planned, though overall maybe the journey was somehow I felt like okay, it is deviated, but the sense of accomplishment after going through all the challenges, so that is what that is always the best moment, that okay, there is some achievement, there is something I tried, and earlier I felt that maybe I cannot do it, but on the only way to figure it out was that okay, I should give it a try, and only then I will see that yes, I was capable enough to do it or not. So that's the best feeling.
Okay. We are still pouring with questions, Madeeha.
That's interesting.
So,
Yeah.
let's.
We have time as well to
We do
manage it.
have time. Yes, we do have
Yeah.
time. And the question from Ujjwal Deep: can Agile mindset be tailored to suit a project or organization? Would it truly work and be successful?
Oh yes, that is so doable, and I'm glad that the current slide shows the same, that the agile mindset believes not only in cultivation of intelligence level, the skills level, but also believe in developing this whole mindset itself. So that is what you can do, that all right, if there is any project or like you want to tailor it according to your organization, so that is what you can do. But it's all about when you are having this mindset, so you can see what is working well for you, but still it should be in an agile manner. So that is important. So it's not that okay, we are going to tailor our mindset with the work we are doing, but we should see that how we can tailor the work with our mindset. So it will go hand in hand, that what is going to work well, but it shouldn't be like that okay, there is something which you are doing with the fixed mindset, and then you see that all right, you can make a hybrid model of having agile mindset. So to have an agile mindset will make the things easier and simpler.
Okay, I'm sorry for that. Yeah. But still, again, one more question from Aditya. Do you want to share some tricks on those who have been working with conventional way of project management, basically PMP, since last 2 decades?
All right. So like, okay, let me rephrase your question, that you want me to talk about the tricks which we can implement with the people who are working in PMP for last 2 decades.
So it is, what would be the tricks for those people who are working in the PMP environment or the project management, traditional project management environment for last 2 decades, and how would they implement the agile mindset?
All right. Okay. So yes, there wouldn't be any like special tricks we can say, but when it comes to having the traditional mindset and the people are working in the traditional way, so it's all about that. All right, we are introducing the change, and we are basically challenging their status quo. That okay, you should go for a change. So what we can do, that how you can do it, that always have a talk with those people, that what do they think, and you should also see that how open they are to go for a change. So it's all about again, it's not about that we will just say, okay, hi, you are having fixed mindset and we want you to become agile mindset. No, we do not do it that way. But what we'll do, that we will be giving them the changes and challenges, that and we will see that what is their response out of it. So if they are up for it, and then we can see that, all right, they are taking their steps toward agile mindset. And even maybe they wouldn't be knowing it, that, all right, we are moving towards agile mindset. But yes, that's the way they are doing it. So what you can do that, all right, go and have a talk with them, and yes, then you can see that, all right, what is their perspective. We shouldn't ask their perspective for the agile mindset, but we should ask their perspective about how do they see the change and what makes them comfortable to be in the current role or current status. Or we should always talk about the fears, so that we can tell them that, all right, how they can overcome their fears, or what, like, something they're afraid of. And so if it is there, and we can make them comfortable, because agility and all the agile culture and values is all about the teamwork, and it's all about the comfort and trust on each other. So we should give them that comfortable environment, that if you are up for a change, then we are here to encourage you and empower you. Because if they are having the fixed mindset, and they are working for 20 years in the fixed mindset, so they will definitely be close towards having a change or to take a risk. But if we are giving them the confidence that, yes, we are here to support you and to facilitate you, so then they can feel confident that, all right, we should experience a change. So that's the way you can do it.
Thank you so much, Madeeha, for answering all the questions by our attendees. We're running short of time now. We're almost about at the end of this session. And to all the attendees who are online right now, I would like to tell one thing about Madeeha. She was one of the esteemed speakers in Regional Scrum Gathering in Nepal, which is, I think, on 8th and 9th of December, right? We would like to congratulate you for that same.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And we are, Eisenbridge, we are hosting the next Regional Scrum Gathering in Hyderabad, India on 29th and 30th of March, 2019. And Madeeha is once again, she is our reviewer, and we hope to see you in our gathering on 29th and 30th of March, Madeeha.
Yeah, sure. I will do my best to make up for that, attending the gathering as well.
That would be really great, and it would be really great for all the attendees who are here with us right now. This would be a great opportunity for you all to attend this session and have a great learning session from all the speakers we would be having. And the registrations will be opening soon from 31st midnight, 31st of December, midnight.
Right.
Okay, so thank you so much, Madeeha, for being with us here today, giving us this wonderful talk and clearing, speaking with all our attendees. And I hope to have multiple sessions with you in the future as well.
Yes, sure. Thank you, everyone. And especially thanks to Eisenbridge. And thank you to all the participants to ask the wonderful questions and to seeking the knowledge. And if there is anything more you would like to connect with me for, so here is my LinkedIn, and also my email ID is given. That is madeeha@yahoo.com. And I welcome you all for all the questions and being connected at LinkedIn as well. Thank you.
You're welcome, Madeeha. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So hi all, that was a session by Madeeha. The upcoming session would be from Jyoti. It would be on the work-life balance we usually talk about. And let me just check if Madeeha, Jyoti is online. Hi Jyoti, are you with me?
Hi Sekhar, good evening.
Hi Jyoti, hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. We are here right on time. So today we have Jyoti. She would be talking on the topic of striking a balance in our lives. That is basically work-life balance. And if I talk about Jyoti a little bit, she is co-founder and an executive coach in her own organization, that is Rizan Management Consulting Private Limited. And I think she's currently based out in Singapore, and the current time difference, I think it's pretty late there.
It's 8:30, 2.5 hours ahead.
Yes, it's so. I'll hand over to you, Jyoti. You can go ahead and continue to talk.
Yeah, I'll just share my screen here. Well, I'll just take a second to. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Jyoti, and I'll be sharing my views and experiences on striking a balance in our lives. And in that regards, I'll be sharing some slides and taking the Q&A a little in the end. I hope that is okay with everyone. Well, we all keep talking about work-life balance, and that we all want a balance in our lives. The blogs, the discussions, the TED Talks, they all are screaming about work-life balance everywhere. But still we all struggle with it. And we just, in fact, I just wonder that I hope there is some template that we can copy and paste and somewhere just paste it in our lives and be happy about it. But the thing is that it is not so. It does not work like that. And I have experienced this in my own life. I would just share a brief background and my own personal experience in that regards. I was in a leadership position while I was doing a full-time job and had not been doing my own work. I used to work with American Embassy in Delhi. I had a good career, a decent money, and I really liked what I was doing. Every day I would wake up in the morning wanting to reach office, crack some of the most complicated visa fraud cases, and in the evening I would want to get back home to my family. So far, everything was good, and I had a perfect balance in my life. It continued the same for a couple of years, but all of a sudden, this same job, which was giving me the immense pleasure, it was giving me happiness. I was at peace with myself because I was able to give 100% to my job. So there I felt that, okay, I'm doing good. But after a while, it started becoming quite stressful for me, as there was no end to these cases that I was doing, and I had to actually bring my work back home. And then a travel was also involved, and I was hardly getting any time for myself or for my family or for my kids. So I started kind of feeling, what is this happening? Why I can't, I felt as if I'm losing control over my things. And at that point of time, I was introduced to, sorry, my screen just got, I'm extremely sorry for this. Yeah. And at that point, I felt that what is happening? I need to get control of my life. And then I realized that too much of working hours is creating this imbalance, and I need to start thinking about what I have to do with all these things. And that was the time when I decided to quit my job. And I decided that I need to move on and I need to look for something which is not making me feel all the time I'm stumbling over the things. And then I moved on to coaching, where I felt that, yes, this is something which I can pursue full time. So I resigned from my job. And some people told me that, are you crazy? You're leaving such a powerful job. You're it's such a well-paid thing. But then I felt that was the right thing for me to do at that point of time. As time changed, my priorities changed, my work-life balance needs changed. Sometimes when the work is 80% and life is 20%, sometimes it is 50-50, and sometimes it is 20-80. I'm sure everyone on this call has similar stories to share, because we all feel this thing that we have less number of working hours, or what is happening. There's too much of stress because of all these things. So whenever we talk of creating so what do we do? Whenever we feel that we need to create, we are not finding this balance, that is the time when we need to create a balance for ourselves. We need to see that what we can do with our lives. And sometimes we start finding faults in ourselves. We start blaming ourselves that I have too many things on my platter and I'm not able to do this. Where should I start? All these questions keep cropping up, and to some extent it is true as well. But sometimes it is true that when we are creating all these things, it is not only we who are at fault. It is not only that sometimes it is the external factors as well who do not let us create that balance for ourselves. For example, if we are in the office, there are tons of other things, or maybe we have our own list of things to do, that we will be working on 10 things today, but there are some meetings which just crop up, or sometimes there are these non-stop emails. Sometimes there are long commutes when we are moving. We are not able to differentiate between what is urgent and what is important. And there are many more things that are part of this list that distract us from doing, which make us neglect the important things that we need to do at the cost of urgency. And what happens? What is the net result of all this? It leaves us exhausted, because we all have limited time and energy and the resources as well. We don't have that much amount of time. So we need to stop feeling guilty about this. We need to stop. We need to start thinking that what is it that we need to do. And there was a survey as well which was done on this factor, and that survey it showed that yes, these non-stop emails are unproductive meetings or long commutes. They all are part of the things which cause stress to us and which cause imbalance in our lives. Apart from that, what happens? Many times that when these work starts impacting our lives, that there was a very interesting speech which was given by an ex-CEO of Coca-Cola. He said that our life we all are juggling with balls. And like work, ourselves, our family, our relationships, these all are balls. And out of these balls, which are a very important part of our lives, work is made up of a rubber ball. If we leave it for a while, it will bounce back. But ourselves, our family, our relationships, they all are glass balls. And they are the most delicate and fragile things that we have in our lives, which once shattered, they will never be fixed again. And they needed to be treated with care. This analogy is not an excuse to be a slacker at work, but rather than to think that how we manage these key balls. I'm not ignoring my work ball, or I'm not blaming that everything or this balance becomes an imbalance only because of our work. No, that is not true. But I'm just getting more comfortable with letting it bounce just a little longer. I need to give more importance to my health, to my family. Today, even if this CEO tells us, or I tell you that none of these things, we should not be taking them seriously, still 90% of the people would do what they are doing. They will not bring any change unless and until they themselves want to do it. As a coach, I'm not here to give you a magic formula. I have worked with many CEOs, startup entrepreneurs, people at different levels in their lives, and they all have various priorities in life across the spectrum of wishes. And as a coach, my job has always been to empower them, bring more clarity in their thoughts in order for them to create their own magic formula. It is very difficult uh, to bring everything on a template. However, yes, there are certain patterns that uh, I saw where, and there are some key takeaways also that you may like to carry home, and you would want to think and work on them, and make part of your daily routine. And when I'm talking about that, it's the most important thing which I've been telling myself also, and I would like to share with all of you as well. That is that we all need to know that there is no perfect balance. There is absolutely no perfect balance. So we need to stop feeling guilty about it. We need to stop telling ourselves that we are not spending enough time doing, or spending 50% of our time in our work area, or 50% of our time in family life. We need to understand that there is no perfect balance. And the balance that is there for me may not be the same for you. So we cannot compare ourselves either. That see, she's spending so much amount of time, or she's giving so much time to her kids, or she's doing. As a mom, I keep moving up and down with these things, that today I haven't spent enough time with my kids, or I haven't been home, or I haven't been doing things with my family, or with my work. I need to spend at least 8 hours. No, it is not. It is not that. We need to understand that there is no perfect balance. We cannot keep on spending 8 hours doing work and 8 hours being home. We need to stop imagining ourselves waking up 5 a.m. in the morning, hitting the gym. Though if we do it, it'll be nothing like it. It's absolutely good for our body and health. But don't stress yourself for all these things. Though if it is still okay whenever we think that our what would be our ideal day, a picture comes in our mind where we see ourselves hitting the gym in the morning, grabbing a meal, our lunch, heading off to work, then trying to come home early, having dinner, or doing some important other chores, and then just wind up our day with a nice book in our hand in bed at 9 p.m. But that's often not the case. We all strive for the perfect schedule. But what I want to request you is, don't strive for that perfect schedule. Strive for a realistic schedule without stressing ourselves. Some days you might want to focus more on work. There would be days when your work is 90% and your family is 10%. And there are days when it is other way around. However, at some times we just want to do nothing. Just want to read the book, or pursue a hobby, or just relax. It's okay. Balance is achieved over time. It's not each day. So at the end of the day, if you are not ticking up 10 things that okay, today I've done this also, I've done this also, I've made few phone calls to my family also, that is not striking a balance. Even if you speak to your family, since because I'm staying away from my family, and me, my husband, and my kids, we are in Singapore, but my parents, my siblings, they all are back in India. If I'm not giving them a call, I do not stress myself over that. We need to stop feeling guilty. Another key factor, what happens is that when we keep thinking about work all the time, there is an important thing that we are neglecting, an important thing, and that is our health. So I would like to say that we need to prioritize our health. We need to, if our body is healthy, everything will fall. in its place by being healthy. I don't mean that we should have a six packs and we should be doing all the activities every day. What I mean is that we need to be conscious about it. We need to eat healthy. We need to get our regular tests done. We need to be active for 30 minutes a day, walk, play sport, swim, yoga, anything. It is different for all of us. What one person enjoys, maybe the other person is not enjoying, or maybe your body is not ready for that thing. So don't sit for long hours. Take small breaks. Drink enough water. All these things are very easy, and I'm sure we all have heard about this many times. We all have heard or we have read about it. It's all, but still, despite that, how many of us take conscious efforts to do exercise every day? How many of us get up from our desk after every half an hour or 1 hour? How many of us make sure that we are drinking enough water during the day? We are not. And this is a high-paced thing. If we will not take care of our health, it may not bother us today, but tomorrow, yes, it will. So why to let that situation come? If a person falls sick, it is not only that person who's going through it. It's the entire family that suffers. Don't get sick due to negligence. I'm sorry, this got stretched a little bit more, but yes, our health is the most important thing. So just remember that if we can go for regular checkups, if we can do all those things, it's just the perfect thing. The next thing that comes to my mind is that we keep feeling that if we are not going to office, if we are not doing our work, the whole world will get upside down. If we keep our phones away for some time, we might miss on the most important messages. That is not true. If we do not check our emails for half an hour when we are having meals with our family, just for that half an hour, if we can keep our phones away, nothing is going to happen. The world is not going away. Whatever you may think, it is not waiting for you either. People say that it is a matter of life and death. For me, so many things are happening. I cannot keep my phone aside for a while. The only life and death matter is the life and death. Period after that. It's okay not to look at the Facebook for half a day or not to respond to our WhatsApp messages immediately. If anything is important, the person will give us a call. It's okay not to respond an email after 10 p.m. It's okay to switch off our data. It is important to take 6 to 8 hours of sleep. We live in a connected world that never sleeps, but cutting our ties with outside world from time to time allows us to recover from weekly stress and gives us space for our thoughts and ideas emerge at that time. Sometimes truly unplugging means taking a vacation and shutting our work completely off for a while. A vacation could be 15 minutes walk around the block without looking at our phone. Or a vacation could be 1 week traveling for our family and friends. It is important to take a step back to physically and mentally and then recharge. The next important piece of that I would like to share is very much sync with the previous one. Make time for ourselves. It is very important because solitude brings peace. Do sometimes that give us happiness. It can be painting, it can be gardening, reading, talking, anything that gives us an energy, which energizes us, which brings a smile on our face, which brings peace. Do something that gives you happiness. It is not important always to keep aside 1 hour every day or 2 hours every day. No, just 1 hour in a week also. It can just energize us, or spending time with our friends. that is equally important. Unwinding ourselves. If we drop dead, if we leave our it's not that, I know the job that we are doing is giving us money to live peacefully, is making us financially sound. If someone is paying us well, it is our responsibility to give our 100% to them. But all that passion about creating the next Google, being in the next stand of sensation, all that is fine. We just need to remember that if we are working for a company that is paying us well, we have to be responsible for it. But if this job is draining us, it is difficult for us to do the things that we love outside of work, then something is wrong. You may be working in a toxic environment for a toxic person, or doing a job that truly don't love. If this is the case, then it is the time for you to think. Look around. See if you need to change your job. And if you cannot change, be true to it. Continue working till you find another one. Life does not work that way. It is not either or I or life. It is a mix of millions of things. This is why I want we as individuals, we need to prioritize our activities. We need to prioritize our lives. We need to see what fits our lives, rather than always comparing what other people are saying or what other people are doing. Each and every individual is different. The way each and every individual is different, our needs are different. Our desires are different. We need to start working with our things that give us I would say, give us the happiness. And that is what I would like, what I had to say. And I would be, in fact, I would like to thank you all for listening to me, and I would be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you so much, Jyoti, for this wonderful talk on this, how to, create a beautiful balance between our work and our life. And yes, we do we are open right now for question and answers from, how we can, create, help create a balance between work and life. So currently I have a set of questions from our audiences already. The first question comes from Abhishek. The question is, if we have so many things, how we can prioritize our work? Any formula for that?
Every day it is not that, okay, so prioritizing our work. Whenever we all of us know that whatever our delivers are for tomorrow or for today. So when we are working, we need to start thinking what is important at the moment. What is the most urgent thing that we need to do? And when we make that list, whatever is important and whatever is urgent, we need to set our own deadlines with the list of things that we have on our platter. Once we create that, we have that clarity, then it becomes much easier for us to probably sort out our things. There is no perfect balance, as it depends on the demand of our work. It depends on what submissions we have to do in our office, or if we are talking about particularly about our work. It is sometimes, and we also need to keep a time buffer, because sometimes certain things just come up and which are absolutely urgent, and if your boss comes up and says that, okay, so today this is the most important thing and I want you to do that. But if all the time, if we are just thinking that I have 10 other things which I have to do, we need to have a time management which actually helps us in this time. And so that quadrant about what is important, it helps. So I think that helps us to make a list.
Thank you, Jyoti, for answering Abhishek's question. Now moving ahead, the next question from Sumit. The question is, it will be a pretty elaborate answer, I'm assuming so in advance. The question is how to get rid of stress and depression naturally.
We need to first figure it out. What is the thing which is giving us a stress? What are the things from which what is stress actually? Stress is something that we disagree with. Stress is something uh, which is something different from our routine, something which crops up, which is not in our day-to-day life, something which is bothering us. That is what stress is. So first thing that we need to find out in our daily lives is that what is it that is bothering us? Once we figure it out, what is it that is bothering us, then probably we can sort it out and find an answer for that. And depression comes when we are unable to find the answers to our questions. Then we start blaming ourselves. We stop looking at other things or the other doors which are open. It's a very wide thing to talk about. So I would like to know that what kind of a stress it is that or what kind of a thing that see actually it is a as you as you mentioned, Saket, it is definitely a wide thing, and I'm just thinking how can I answer what is stress. Anything that bothers me or anything which I disagree with is uh, is stress for me. And sometimes what is a stress for me may not uh, I may not be feeling that if I sit down and if I think about it, about uh, what my concern is, I may be able to sort it out, and that will just help me to come out of this the depression part as well. I hope I know this is sounding a little confusing, but I hope I've been able to answer the question.
I feel so. It was pretty much, it was answered perfectly. I really don't see any other way it could have been answered better. Thank you so much, Jyoti, for that. Uh, One last question we have from Ujjwal. We're running out of time. So the last question from Ujjwal is, why is always work or office talked about when we say work-life balance? What about cases when there is no extra work or no overtime work, still the life is imbalanced?
As I mentioned in one of my slides, that we keep talking about work. We give too much importance to work because that is the place from where we are earning, we are getting our finances. That is why work uh, is one thing that we always talk about. And in life, so many other things come where we talk about family, and so that is why whenever we talk about work life balance, it is always these two things. But yes, you rightly said that over time and working on other things, these all are small factors that we do not even consider. And if we look at this survey, the slide which I shared, it says that yes, overtime is one of the key factors which impacts our work life balance. It is the unproductive meetings or non-stop emails and other stuff. They all are the factors which bring about all these stress in our life, which bring about all the imbalance in our lives. So it is not that this, as you mentioned, that overtime or other things, they do create an imbalance in our lives.
Okay. Thank you so much. But then I think I'm not sure, we still can take another last question. We can quickly add up like a couple of minutes to this. Many a time, people do not have option and are stuck, resultant of which there are certain things to be sacrificed either in your professional life or personal life.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on that?
Absolutely true. As I said, there is no perfect balance. Sometimes, definitely, that thing is there that uh, we have to give more time to our office. it is at a crucial stage where if we do not give, we might be in a trouble. So we have to spend too much time on our work. But there are at times when our family demands more time. If someone is unwell, or if someone is or are, it can be anything for anyone. But definitely that is the thing that sometimes our family takes up. So the perfect balance is not spending equal time on these things. The perfect balance would be when we can give importance to whatever is required, whatever is important at that point of time in our lives. If work is demanding, we need to give time, and we need to always have a backup plan. That suppose if there is a family emergency, and I'm sure it happens with most of us, when our spouse stands up and they take they play the role of both mom and dad. Or at work, we have our colleagues who help us at that time. So there are times when we try to strike that balance.
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you so much for answering these questions, and we're still, coming up with questions. Let me do one thing. I will post these questions with Jyoti, and Jyoti would be answering them to each individual one-on-one. And I can actually also post this same question on chat. So once I'm done with this, I'm starting with the next session with Sekhar. He's already waiting. So Jyoti can answer these questions on chat directly to Abhay.
Okay, and I would be happy to answer in case if anyone of have any questions. My email address is there, and my LinkedIn is also there. I would be happy to answer all the questions. And in case if anyone has anything, they can just reach me out in person as well.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. Thank you so much spending this, giving us this time and opportunity to have this, beautiful conversation with you and answering all the questions posted by our attendees. We'll really hope to see you further in our other conferences and definitely in other meetups. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Saket, and thank you very much. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Hi, Sekhar.
Hey, hi.
How are you doing? I'm sorry to cut off a couple of minutes from your time.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, no problem.
So right now we have Sekhar. Today I have Sekhar, who is a CST, and he has been training CSM for quite some time. And today we're going to have a little question answer and a discussion with Sekhar regarding Advanced Certified Scrum Master. Technically, it's a good news that he is approved to deliver Advanced Certified Scrum Master from Scrum Alliance, and only few CSTs has the privilege, and he's one of them. Now, Sekhar, I have a few questions with you regarding Advanced Certified Scrum Master. The very first goes as why should someone do ACSM?
Great question. Okay, so one thing what over a period of time when we were moving from CSM to CSP and then advanced courses like CST, CEC and all. So what Scrum Alliance observed over a period of time was there is a huge gap between the knowledge gaps, knowledge levels from CSM to CSP, and then from CSP to the next level. So, and one of the reasons why many people could not reach the guide level certifications like CEC or a CST or a CTC is because of the knowledge gaps, which were left unfulfilled while they are reaching the CSP. And that was the real intention why advanced courses have been brought into place. And then if you are a Scrum Master who is practicing Scrum for at least 1 year, and then who is doing your job of a Scrum Master, I think this is going to be a fabulous opportunity where we deep dive into several situations in our class, and then we talk about, hey, how do we resolve this, or how can we help others show their own mirror, or how can we really be a great facilitator, and how can we really excel as a coach, or how can we really transform our teams. Again, this is something which I would really love being a Scrum Master. Like the job of a Scrum Master is not to introduce Scrum to your team members. It is all about transforming your team. That's what we call it as a change agent. So, I mean, again, there are so many Scrum Masters, they write to me day in, day out saying that, hey, my team is not self-organized. What should I do? Or my team doesn't understand cross-functionality. What should I do? And I mean, in fact, the Scrum is a Scrum guide. If you look at it, a small 18 pages or 19 pages book, where they have given too much of information where people find it so difficult. And we just go deep dive into some of the Scrum Master roles and responsibilities. We simulate several situations, and we help people to understand what does it take to really be a great Scrum Master, not a good Scrum Master. Yeah.
Okay. Understanding from what you spoke, advanced certified Scrum Master is a lot about practicing and focusing on facilitation, coaching, system thinking, and servant leadership, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now if I say, this comes up like to my next question, how does this certification actually fit in overall certification path of Scrum Alliance?
Yeah. So if someone is an aspiring, I mean, I would call an enterprise coach, or if someone is an aspiring certified Scrum trainer, after CSM, they should, that is the next step which they wanted to, which they have to have it in their portfolio, because this really fulfills not only the knowledge gap, but it also fulfills the experience. Many times whatever you're learning from others' experience, where you have people in your class where you're learning from others' experience as well. So advanced CSM, and then after that you have certified Scrum professional, where that is another class where you have to deal with an CST who has got that approval, and then only the CSTs can offer it. And after that, if you want real guide level certifications, then you have to demonstrate the real experience. And to me, honestly, the CST, CEC, and the CTC path is like doing a PhD. So it's like you have to produce a big thesis. So for which you have to have your own homework done perfectly. Yeah.
Okay, so if I may ask, what would be the prerequisites for advanced certified Scrum Master?
Yeah, so prerequisite is pretty straightforward. One is you need to have a Scrum Master, a CSM, an active CSM, which was, even if it is expired, if it was expired before 90 days, we are still fine. Or I would, to be precise, 89 days. And then after that, you have to be, I mean, you have to document, you should have a documental evidence of your Scrum Master experience. And then after that, you have to go through a session with a CST. And then there will be some, what I call it as instructor evaluation at the end of the class. And every CST can do this evaluation in his own way, but there should be some instructor evaluation at the end of the class. And then if you clear that evaluation, you will be awarded as an advanced CSM. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm understanding is that, if I basically have a 1 year of experience, even though I do not have a CSM certification, even I can have the certification later onwards, I can still, the previous years of experience is actually valid for my ACSM.
Yeah, 1 year of experience in the past 5 years. Yeah.
Within the past 5 years.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, now a lot of people have been asking this question, once they have done CSM certification, going ahead to the next journey, they feel comfortable that they can do it online. And with a combination of little self-paced study and self-learning. So can advanced CSM certification, can advanced certified Scrum Master certification can be done online?
Yes, it can be done online. I'm not sure if there are any offerings in India at this point of time. Yes, it can be done online. The only catch I see is like if a student wanted to maximize the value from this class, I still recommend a classroom session. But it can be done online, and the prerequisite for it is you have to have what I call it as at least 4 hours of a face-to-face interaction with the trainer, and remaining 12 hours of self-study and then fulfilling assignments and all. So yes, it is possible, but minimum 4 hours of interaction based on at what level you are a Scrum Master. Because I've seen many Scrum Masters in the past where if you are a CSM in 2012 or 2013 and all, there are every chance to up in an advanced CSM class, and then we have to repeat all the basics. And that is where there are some serious challenges out there. But I would recommend a classroom program rather than an online program. Yeah.
Okay, so physical classroom interaction is far more suitable and much more recommended.
Yeah.
So I'm getting actually certain questions, apart from my questions also, I'm getting certain questions from our attendees as well. One very important question I got in the chat is from Surya Narayan. The question is pretty simple. Agile certified practitioner or certified Scrum Master? Which one to opt for?
These two are different. These two are pretty different. It depends on which organization you are doing the certification through. But honestly, Scrum Lines has a lot of credibility. I mean, one of the first organization to bring in Scrum and Agile certifications into this world. So Scrum Alliance has a lot of credibility over the last several years. And again, it's up to you what you really wanted to choose. But if you wanted to be a really great Scrum Master, Scrum Alliance is one organization to go for. Yeah.
Thank you, Sekhar, for that. One question from the Q&A section from Nitin Das. That is, what after PSM or CSM, in this case, I'll take CSM, what after certified Scrum Master certification if one wishes to have a career as an Agile coach or trainer?
Well, career is totally different. According to me, career is a lot about experience. So yes, the certifications will give you the kickoff to find an opportunity, but certification is all about. What a career is all about the experience that you gain over a period of time. So you build careers over a period of time, isn't it? So that's what I usually think about. So certification plus a great experience will become a great career. So now, if you talk about Scrum Alliance coaching or training certifications, yes, the coaching and training certifications of Scrum Alliance is pretty much based on your past experience. They usually call it as a demonstrable experience. So how do you demonstrate your experience as a coach? For example, in a CEC or a CTC application, because I'm currently the member of Scrum Alliance on the review board of Scrum Alliance. So for CEC applications. So if you wanted to be, for example, an aspiring CEC or a CTC, you should be able to demonstrate your experience, because we usually give you some situations where we wanted to understand your stories. How did you as a coach over a period of time evolve yourself? Or how did you as a coach learn from your mistakes? How did you transform yourself before you go and transform the whole world? So these are some things which you look at. So we want your journey, your story. So that is, according to me, a career. And then certifications will give you that platform for you to stand and build that career. That's what I think. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do have a question from my side as well. how do you see, or how do you place Advanced Certified Scrum Master as a certificate among the certification path of Scrum Alliance?
So certification path is very simple. Certified Scrum Master, Advanced Certified Scrum Master, and then a Certified Scrum Professional. Either you can be a Scrum Master or a Product Owner. And then from there, you reach the guide level certifications. Either it depends on what your interest primarily is. You can be a coach or a trainer if you want to be a coach. There is a certified team coach, certified enterprise coach. And if you want to be a trainer, certified Scrum trainer. Yeah.
Okay. There were certain questions from multiple people. The question is basically related to Advanced Certified Scrum Master versus PMI ACP.
Yeah. So even
I was on CSM versus PMI ACP. This is basically Advanced Certified Scrum Master versus PMI ACP.
Yeah. So I'm seeing that yes, you cannot do ACSM if you are a PMI ACP. You should be an certified Scrum Master CSM from Scrum Alliance to do the advanced CSM. So I have, because we usually because that is a different ball game altogether. So this is Scrum Alliance certification path. So you cannot do an advanced CSM if you're not a CSM from Scrum Alliance.
Thank you so much, Sekhar, for that. Upcoming question is from Ujjwal Deep, and instead of Sekhar, I would like to answer this question. The question is, do you have any ACSM batch scheduled in Delhi NCR? And the answer is, right now we do not have any batch scheduled in Delhi NCR. It's in Hyderabad and Bangalore only. And yes, for Delhi NCR, we are going to schedule a batch pretty much soon. So I would suggest you, I can get you in touch with my training coordinator as well. And we will be posting it on our website soon once we have scheduled it. Okay, Ujjwal. So apart from this, do we have any other questions? Yes, Aditya has posted a question. My CSM is expired long back, and is it still valid for at ACSM? I need to know, Aditya, when it has expired, because
so if your CSM expired more than 3 months, you have to renew it. But if your CSM expired less than 3 months, less than 90 days to be precise, then if you do your ACSM, so it will automatically renew your CSM. Yeah.
So I think it answers the question of Aditya by overall. Yes, it has. He said it is 4 years back. So
okay, if it's 4 years back, you probably have to renew it first on Scrum Alliance. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question, it comes from Sri Hari. Which path is best to have a career as an Agile coach, ACSM or PMI ACP?
Okay. So I'm not sure what the PMI ACP has connection with coaching, because I'm one of the certified PMI ACP. I'm one of the 18th or 19th person who did that PMI ACP. But honestly, I haven't seen anything related to coaching in PMI ACP. So if you wanted to be an aspiring Agile coach, yes, ACSM is a really great option. And there are other coaching certifications as well, but I don't see a connection between PMI ACP and coaching. Yeah.
Thank you, Sekhar, for that. The next question is from Ujjwal once again, and the question is basically, again, I can answer that question. It's how to secure SUs for getting the CSP level. Well, for getting the SUs, as you said in the question itself, online webinars is one of the options, and definitely attending trainings. If you can attend other trainings, like if you're attending ACSM, you would be getting SUs for that itself, and multiple other trainings you can all enroll for which you would be getting specific number of SUs.
All right. So hold on. So I'm thinking that Ujjwal is asking for CSP, whether he needs any SUs or not. I believe that is what his answer is. But that SU's way of achieving CSP was gone long back. It is no longer SUs to achieve ACSM or CSP. That's what I was, clarifying here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shekhar, for that. Yeah, thank you for clarifying me.
Yeah.
The next question is from Alpita Devi. How do we compare with Safe Agile certification and Agile Coach certification, as Safe as combination of Agile concepts?
We wanted to understand, according to you, who is an Agile coach. I mean, because even in SAFE also, according to me, based on what I was an SPC like 2 years back and then no longer renewed it. But we got to understand who is a coach, because SAFE is more of a framework. Yes, it gives one a very good enterprise transformation framework and all. But many times I haven't seen SAFE as a coaching framework where they help how to transform your leaders. They don't, these are not some of the things that I have seen predominantly in SAFE, according to me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Shekhar, for that. One question I have from one of my previous speakers during this session, Madeeha Khan, she asked, what is the best certification to be an Agile coach?
Well, best is something, according to me, best is something which, what you are going to accomplish. I mean, it depends on what you are trying to accomplish. There are some IC Agile certifications where they'll give you an exposure of what is coaching, what is all about. And then there are what I call it as ICF coaching, International Coach Federation, ACC, PCC, and all. These are some of the coaching certifications where they'll give you a lot of coaching in depth. But if you want an Agile coach, yes, you can start with IC Agile. And after that, once you get significant experience, you put up significant experience as an Agile coach, you have to demonstrate that experience, call yourself as certified, a team coach or certified enterprise coach. And one thing what I have seen over a period of time, there are so many expensive coaching certifications out there. Yes, it all depends on what is your appetite to consume that. Okay. And the other thing is there are some coachings like coactive coaching, ORSC. There are so many coachings out there. So, but it all depends on how you wanted to deal with them. Yeah.
Thanks. I guess, Madeeha, this question was answered by Shekhar perfectly. And one question from Rahul Verma. I can see that it is, bringing back to the old topic of the eligibility of ACSM. The question is, I did my CSM recently in October, but has been working as a Scrum Master for the past 1.5 years. Can I attend ACSM training and certification?
Yes, he can. Only thing is we ask for his some write-up on his experience where we wanted to check what is his journey as a Scrum Master so far. We wanted to see some of his real stories, but yes, he is eligible. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I think we do not have any other further questions. Yes, any other questions from all the attendees? I would request if you have any questions, you can post now. We have last couple of minutes for this session to get over, and definitely for the conference also. Well, I don't think so. We don't have any questions right now, Shekhar.
Yeah.
So I think we can close the session now. We are done. So thank you so much, Sekhar, for this clarification session on advanced.
Okay, there are a couple of questions coming our way. Okay.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Prerequisites for CSM. Yeah. So sorry, Alpita. Yes. Yes, would you like to take over, Sekhar, on this? Last, we have 3 questions actually. We have 4 questions right now.
What is the prerequisite for CSM? Did I understand that question right? What is the prerequisite for CSM? Yes, I mean, at this point of time, there is no hard prerequisite for a CSM. Only thing is you have to read some what I call it as a pre-reading material before you come to the class. But you should understand the way how software development happens. So that is something that is the prerequisite for CSM. I believe it is CSM, not ACSM, because I read that as a CSM.
It's like I'm sure it is CSM probably.
Yeah. Okay.
If it is ACSM, Gopakumar, we have already discussed about that same question already, and yes, so we can move on to the next question from Samatha Aveti. How many SUs are required to renew my CSM?
Yeah, so renew CSM, right? That's what I'm seeing. So we need, I mean, this is starting from February. From February 2019, you need to have 20 SCUs for a renewal period of 2 years. So you need to have 20 SCUs for a renewal period of 2 years. So that, and if you are renewing before February, this doesn't apply. But if you are renewing after February, you need to have 20 SUs for a 2-year period to renew your CSM. Yeah.
Okay. That's one more question from Ujjwal. I can see it on chat. This is pretty much going to be an elaborate question, I can assume. The question is, I aspire to be an CST. How long would it take for me? And I'm currently in CSM right now.
Well, it all depends on what your current maturity levels in Scrum. So I have seen some CSTs, they climbed this in, let us say, minimum is 3 to 4 years. But it took me 8 years. So, but of course, I was also a CEC in between. So I spent 2 years in becoming a CEC. But it all depends on your current Scrum maturity. So I have seen CSTs anywhere becoming CSTs between 3 to 4 years, 5 years, 8 years, etc. So, but yes, you have to have that patience to become a CST. And in fact, CSTs, they don't, Scrum Alliance do not easily give it. You should be a thought leader. Unless you are a thought leader, they don't give CSTs easily. And then they usually test your training skills also. For example, you need to co-train with existing CSTs, at least with 5 other CSTs where you have to train before them. So it is an test of your Scrum knowledge as well as your training skills. That is what they usually look at. So yeah, that's what I have seen. Yeah.
The question is continued a little bit further. If you can elaborate the path and the journey from CSM to CST.
Well, okay. So CSM, after CSM, you have to do advanced CSM. And after an advanced CSM, you need to have at least 1 year of experience. To become a CSP, you need to demonstrate at least 2 years of validated experience. And that validated experience can be done in different ways. Again, if I'm the trainer, I would ask for a write-up and check what is your real experience, and then we can have a few question and answers. And then I can also say that, yes, you have a great experience, or you have to wait for some more time, or whatever it is. And then after that, you have to become, if you wanted to become a CST, the first thing is you have to participate in a lot of leadership activities. For example, organizing, a webinar like this, or for example, volunteering a meetup, a physical meetup, or let us say speaking at a conference, or reviewing a paper, writing blogs, and then showing to Scrum Alliance, showing enough evidence to Scrum Alliance that you are a thought leader. Maybe if you wanted to write some books also, I'm fine. So showing to Scrum Alliance that you are a thought leader in Agile community. So there should be a lot of community contribution and community leadership. And the other thing they look at is what was your statement of purpose, and then they also look at ESP, and then and one important thing is they want recommendations from 5 other CSTs, at least 5 other CSTs, if not more. Like you have to co-train with other CSTs in order to understand or test your Scrum and training capabilities. Because when I was a CST, I used to co-train with so many other CSTs in the past where they used to give me some valuable feedbacks. And it also many times dispelled some of my interpretations or misconceptions about Scrum, because I learned a lot in the co-training journey. Because I felt that I was a best trainer. I felt that I'm the best one who know everything in and around Scrum. But after I did some co-training, I learned a lot. In fact, it was totally mind-boggling. So there are so many things where these co-training sessions with other CSTs will teach you both from your training perspective as well as Scrum knowledge perspective. And then after that, you have to document all your accomplishments in one, let us say, zip file or something like that to send it to Scrum Alliance. And the Scrum Alliance reviews it. And if they need more information, they come back to you. So the first level of scrutiny of your application, if the application is fit for the next stage, then they will invite you for an in-person interview where you have to do a training before Scrum Alliance trainers. Where there is a TAC committee, we call it as trainer approval committee. Or if the application is not fit for going to the next level, they'll give you feedback and say that, hey, these are the areas where you have to improve. Otherwise, your application may not go to the next level. So yes, I recommend that you work with a mentor who went through all this, because you have to understand the nuts and bolts of all this process that is involved once you wanted to become a CST. For me, the real effort I put was like co-training and community leadership. These are the two areas where majority of the decisions will usually fail. So that is where I had put a lot of effort there. Yeah.
Thank you, Sekhar, for clarifying and explaining the path of becoming the CST and sharing your experience so well with us. We are really happy to know, and seriously, definitely, I'm hoping some of us and the attendees would also be interested in becoming a CST, and definitely I'm sure they would like to connect with you in future for the same. And we have one more question over here. I don't see any other question. The last question from Margi is, I am a current CSP. How many SUs do I need to renew it before February 2019?
Before February 2019, I think you don't need anything. But if you have to renew it after 2019, you have to submit some SUs. I believe it is 40 SUs. But I can confirm back on that. But I believe it is 40 SUs. It will be soon published next year. In January, they publish it on Scrum Alliance. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Sekhar, for answering all the questions. I think all the questions are done on the Q&A section and the chat section as well. And let me just check if we have any other questions from any other sources. We are also on YouTube Live. Yes, we don't have any other questions from any other platform. Okay. Thank you, Sekhar, for answering all the questions today. And yes, for getting in touch with Sekhar, you can attend any of our CSM batches, which are being scheduled in multiple locations in India right now. We have a Bangalore batch in this weekend on the Saturday and Sunday, 15th and 16th. You can attend this batch. We have batches in other locations as well, Delhi, Hyderabad, etc. So if you have any queries with Sekhar, you can directly pose a question. You can send it to me. I will redirect it to Sekhar, or you can directly connect with Sekhar on LinkedIn. And he would be glad to answer you all your questions. And just last but not the least, let me tell you about the Regional Scrum Gathering, for which Sekhar is also one of the sponsorship chair. This Regional Scrum Gathering will be held in Hyderabad 2019 on 29th and 30th of March. So anybody who's interested, definitely do attend this session. It will be great and exciting session for all, whoever is interested. Okay, so that's it from us today, from Eisenbridge today. Thank you, Sekhar, and thank you to all the other panelists who were with us today and share their thoughts and talk with us. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sekhar. Have a great day. And to all the attendees who are still online regarding the SUs and PDUs, I did already send an email today how to claim your SUs and PDUs. You can still connect with me if you have any doubts, you have any further questions about how to claim the SUs and PDUs, you can connect with me. And we are actually, if any of the attendees who are in Bangalore, they can attend our meetup, which is going to be held on 18th of December. That's a Tuesday in Bangalore, Hotel Novotel. Here would be an opportunity to connect with Saket Bansal himself. Okay, so we would be sharing those details as well. It is being posted on our website. So if you need any other information, you can definitely connect with me. And that is it from our end. If any other queries, definitely do connect with me. Thank you all. Thank you all for being online with us, being so patient with us. Have a great day. Bye-bye.